Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for the news at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Coming off the heat and humidity today, we're expecting it all over again tomorrow.
Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank for a first look at the forecast tonight. Rach.
Yeah, we could get close to record warmth tomorrow. I don't think we quite break or tie any records, but we're in the ballpark for the Hartford area. Our first 90-degree day in the forecast. The record is 95. I don't think we'll get close to the record in Bridgeport, which is 88. We're forecasting high temperatures in the 70s. But right out of the gate, I wanted to show you there's going to be a big difference, just like today, in shoreline temperatures versus inland areas. So it all depends on location, your opinion of how warm it is outside tomorrow. Still, though, again, the warmest we've seen this season. Temperatures in the 60s out there right now, although low 70s in Windsor Locks and 64 in Waterbury. Overnight, we're looking at temperatures dropping into the upper 50s to right around 60, and there could be some areas of low cloudiness or fog that develop, especially in areas south and east of Hartford. But anything that ends up developing should break, revealing plenty of sun, and inland areas, we're looking at highs between 85 to near 90 degrees. The humidity is not too bad tomorrow, but just enough that you might notice it a little bit. And for the shoreline, we're looking at high temperatures in the 70s. Again, any early low clouds and fog will break for that sun. The humidity surges on Thursday. Then you're really noticing it. However, it'll only last for one day because showers and storms will end the humidity. We'll explain your full forecast coming up.
Rachel, thank you. Well, tenants in Branford are tonight asking the Town Housing Authority, why are you avoiding us? The Parkside Village 2 Tenant Union says the Branford Housing Authority has canceled their monthly meeting for a third time this year without explanation. The housing complex is for elderly and disabled tenants. They requested the meeting with the board in early February to address concerns over poor maintenance and unsafe conditions, a lack of financial transparency, and housing security. The union rallied tonight at the community room of the complex where the meeting was supposed to take place.
There's no way that this place should look like this with the money that this place brings in. The expenses are exorbitant, and there's no reason for that. So why does this look like this? Why has it fallen into such disrepair?
Right.
That's the question. What's the problem?
The tenant union says Beacon Properties, the property management company contracted by BHA, has responded positively to the union and has engaged with them in good faith.
The State Public Defender Services Commission says they won't decide tonight whether our state's top public defender still gets to keep her job. They'll decide next month. They were expected to make a decision tonight. Tashun Bowden-Lewis is facing 16 misconduct allegations. Staff accuse her of leveling unfounded racism and discrimination claims against those who disagreed with her. She's also accused of improperly accessing the emails of legal staff and the commission chairman. Bowden-Lewis denies all allegations.
An update from Newington now after a shelter in place in the Webster Court area of town was issued earlier today. Police were called around noon today for a person violating a protective order. Reports said Michael Jamal Elliott of New Haven was on his way to a residence at Countryside Condos. Police found him inside the home alone and say he refused to leave. Elliott then eventually peacefully surrendered and was taken into custody around 4:30. He faces multiple charges and will be in court tomorrow.
We now know the name of the man killed in a shooting in broad daylight in New Haven yesterday. Peter Arroyo was found shot multiple times in the area of Wolcott and Ferry Streets. Police say he died at the hospital. If you have any information on the shooting, you're being encouraged to contact police. All tips can be made anonymously.
Well, new tonight, the Department of Transportation is surveying drivers about the future of electric vehicles in Connecticut.
State leaders hope more drivers switch to electric. Fox 61's Jake Garcia has more on how this survey could impact what the state does next.
Since 2016, the number of people in Connecticut buying all-electric or plug-in hybrid cars has skyrocketed. The number of charging stations has also gone up. And now a national bipartisan infrastructure plan passed in 2021 is gaining momentum. But before the Connecticut Department of Transportation puts the plans into gear, they want to hear from drivers.
And it's helping us guide
really where the future of EV chargers are located in Connecticut. If you're currently driving an electric vehicle, where do you want to see chargers, or what would be helpful for you as a person who's driving an EV?
The plan would provide the state with $52 million in order to create a broader and more accessible network of charging stations.
We have projects that we're trying to get out into the street to sort of identify these priority zones. What we hear and what studies have shown is that people may not be willing to invest in an electric vehicle because of what's called range anxiety. Am I going to be able to go from point A to point B, and there'll be convenient, fast charging on that route?
Electric vehicle drivers that we spoke to say while there are a number of charging stations already in Connecticut, more would help.
Have more active chargers in those small towns, and maybe more than, in the towns where we already have them, even put a couple more there too, because the more, the better.
More availability and more places, so it would ease our mind.
Here's a look at phase 1 of the plan, which would create fast charging stations where the purple stars are located and expand the number of chargers at the locations marked with the green triangle. Earlier this year, state lawmakers tried to adopt a strict emissions law that would outlaw the sale of new gas and diesel cars starting in 2035. The proposal drew some criticism, and ultimately, lawmakers chose not to advance the bill this year. But EV drivers say this kind of technology is the future.
The trend is going towards EV, and it is very good for the environment. So I would say the easier it is for people to find a charging place, the easier it will be for us to go into this kind of energy.
In Hartford, Jake Garcia, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
The survey is open from now until May 31st. If you would like to take that survey, we have a link on our website, fox61.com.
A Bristol man accused of multiple robberies across the state pleaded guilty today. 45-year-old Lonnie Cross faces charges connected to 37 robberies and attempted robberies at gas stations, mini markets, and liquor stores. They happened in 23 towns across Connecticut and one town in New York back in 2022. The video you see here was from incidents in Franklin and Norwich. Several of the robberies occurred on the same day, just minutes apart. Police say Cross would display a knife or a gun at employees and would steal cash and other items. Cross will be sentenced in August and faces up to 40 years in prison.
A man is arrested in Waterbury accused of going on a vandalism spree. Police believe Eric Cruz slashed tires and left graffiti at 2 businesses. They believe it all happened between May 17th and 20th. Cruz appeared in court today and is still in custody, but Waterbury police don't believe he acted alone. They say other arrests are expected. Now to a Fox 61 follow-up. The East Hartford police lieutenant who's been charged with DUI has now been disciplined following an internal affairs investigation.
It's a story we've been covering from the beginning. Lieutenant Joseph Ficaselli is now suspended without pay for 30 days, and some of his work assignments have changed. Fox 61's Matt Karen breaks down the new developments.
Oh, shut the up.
You got that explains it all.
What cop?
Where? East Hartford.
In January, state police charged East Hartford Police Lieutenant Joe Ficaselli with DUI.
We're gonna have a big problem, dude. Don't threaten me, dude.
Ficaselli, who in the video claimed to state police he was having a heart attack.
Can you call me in the ambulance? I feel like I'm having a heart attack.
Told us he wasn't feeling well when we questioned him about the incident after spotting him during an unrelated story 2 weeks ago.
There's nothing you want to say? Do you regret what?
Surgery, sir. I just had surgery. I'm not feeling.
Gotcha.
I'm off.
Do you regret what you did, though?
Ficaselli's DUI arrest resulted in both a criminal charge and an internal affairs investigation.
We've obtained some video of.
I can't talk about that right now.
Chief Mac Hawkins told us he would speak with us once the internal affairs investigation was complete. We emailed him. No response. We went back to headquarters.
I was wondering if Chief Hawkins would be able to do an interview with us about Lieutenant Ficaselli.
His assistant said he wasn't available, and neither was our Freedom of Information request to obtain a copy of the internal affairs investigation.
I just wanted to check on the status of our FOIA request.
That just says it's open and pending.
We went to town hall. would the mayor want to talk?
It is a police matter, so the police department PIO handles all the communication.
No, I understand that. It's just the residents here have a lot of questions about it.
In a statement, the mayor said town of East Hartford employees are expected to hold themselves to a high standard of conduct, regardless of the department or position. Fox 61 discovered that Lieutenant Ficcaselli was the second highest paid city employee in 2023, making more than $187,000.
I'm going to embarrass the two of you at court. I hate to tell you, but I'm gonna.
But it was Ficcaselli who may have felt embarrassed in court, as Judge Kathleen McNamara told him, "You should be ashamed of yourself." Ficcaselli was suspended without pay for 30 days, transferred out of the Criminal Investigations Bureau, and is no longer the officer in charge of the traffic unit. He was also removed from the department's honor guard.
Can you share with me any thoughts?
Ficcaselli will be back in court on June 6th in Rockville when a judge is expected to decide whether to grant his application for accelerated rehabilitation. We also reached out today to his attorney. So far, we have not heard back. Reporting in East Hartford, Matt Caron, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.